let's actually get into the Nintendo Switch presentation. We're running a little long. I want to get into that. So the way it's going to work, we're going to have 3 different topics. Let you guys know. We're going to be running through the hardware, then the software, then we're going to have a general discussion about how awesome that Breath of the Wild Collector's Edition is. So,
all right, let's
I'm fine with
switch to the Switch talk.
So I'm going to go over the details of it, and then we could just have a round-robin discussion. Also, feel free to chime in when I talk about any of the things I'm going to be going through. So basically, we got the release date, March 3rd, 2017, a lot sooner, well, at least a couple of weeks sooner than people anticipated. A lot of people thought it was going to be the end of March, but they actually hit the beginning of March. We have a price, $299.99, which I believe Dom nailed when we were talking about the Switch presentation. I believe you said it was going to be $299. Correct me if I'm wrong there.
I said 2 SKUs, one at $250 and one at $300.
I was the optimist.
I
was right down.
I don't know if I said it on the podcast. I knew it wasn't going to be $249. I was thinking in my mind, $299, $300.
Yeah. Paid online service. This was kind of surprising to people. It's going to be free at launch. It will move to a paid subscription this fall. Also, the wording on this next part is a little weird. The official wording by Nintendo, but there's going to be a free NES SNES game playable for a month with the subscription. So it's not necessarily that you can, it's not like PSN or Xbox Live where you can download that game during that month and you can play it as long as you're a member for the rest of your lifespan on that online service. It seems like the wording means that there'll be Super Mario Brothers playable from November 1st to November 30th. Then the next month is a different game.
Yeah. You don't get to keep it.
Fucking blows, dude.
Yeah.
But they're adding online play to the SNES games?
The SNES games will have online play, some of them, which is
weird. Here's the weirdest part about the online service, though, is that it only works through a smartphone app, apparently. Yeah. They're still trying to confirm it, but the wording seems to, like, grammatically speaking, say that you can only chat and invite people through an app on your phone. You can't do that on the console itself, which is, like, really bizarre.
It sucks because at first I thought he was talking about a really dope companion app where you could kind of be with your friends even when you're not playing your game. But like, then as he kept talking, I was like, oh, I don't know about this thing.
Yeah. The last part is what we're kind of used to as well on Xbox Live and PSN, the exclusive deals you get for being in the online service. I can't speak to PlayStation Network, PlayStation Plus, but for Xbox Live Gold, you do get really reasonable discounts, especially when there's the huge sales. You get an even bigger discount. Discussion for another day. A lot of paid online services are definitely worth bang for the buck easily. So
I don't want to go too far down the PS Plus versus games with gold rabbit hole, but I think as a subscriber to both, PlayStation is stepping up their game within the last year and a half, where I mean they just have sales all the time and the discounts are crazy, especially even higher if you're PS Plus. So I think they're actually beating Xbox in that sense, even though, like you said, plenty of reasonable sales going on over at Xbox. It seems like
PlayStation's nailing the sales a lot harder, and to fans it seems like Xbox is delivering the better free games. Free in quotes because it's not really free.
Sure.
But that's all.
Those 360 games are great.
Yeah.
And the fact you can play them on your Xbox One too.
That's really nice.
You can download it and play it there. One of the biggest pieces of news for everyone: no region locking. Finally, Nintendo. About time. It's 2017.
That was probably like some of the best news to come out of that conference.
Yeah.
Real talk.
It was weird too because like the guy talked really slow, and obviously we had to go through a translator. So it had said region locking. I was like, are they going to do a thing where it switches to say no region locking? I'm sitting there waiting and waiting and waiting. And then it finally did. So that was weird. They also announced it's going to have 3 modes, 2 of which we're already familiar with, and the third one just like a weird throw-in mode. So it's, put in your dock TV mode, handheld, mobile, and then if you set it up with the little kickstand in the back, they call that tabletop mode, which is, I think, just like a throw-in third mode. It's kind of weird. But battery life, 2.5 to 6 hours, depending on the game. The way I took this is if it's a traditional Nintendo mobile game experience, that'll be closer to 6 hours, whereas if it's these fleshed-out games or the games that take a little bit more to run, like the Zeldas and the Skyrims, it'll be closer to that 2.5. That's how I took it anyways. Is that how you guys kind of felt about it as well?
Yeah.
I think... speaking of hardware, I hate to switch up on you too fast, but you were just talking about the different play stances,
Yeah.
That you can go through. And I didn't mention this on the podcast because I didn't want to sound like an idiot, but it turns out no one else was noticing that when you give your buddy the Joy-Con and you're both playing on half a Joy-Con controller, the L and R buttons are on the inside where the controller would regularly lock into place. And I thought that might be the case because I saw people pushing their fingers down in the commercial, but I was like, how are they going to fit a button in there? I just don't even want to say that because I don't want to sound dumb, but like it turned out to be true.
So speaking of the Joy-Cons, it has a share button on it, which is really interesting for Nintendo considering the way they've handled their online content through YouTube and stuff like that. So it's weird that they're promoting sharing. They have a sensor.
It'll be locked behind their online service paywall, I bet.
True. They also have a sensor for Amiibos and stuff like that. So if you want to, swipe in those Amiibos and get your bonuses for that stuff, that's really cool. The colored versions.
Yeah. Real quick, he put that on the analog stick for the Joy-Con.
Yeah, there's a sensor in the actual Joy-Con. I think it's right below the analog stick. It's really weird.
No, he just put the link on the analog stick. In the presentation, he placed it right on top of the analog stick. So I guess that's your Amiibo scanner. I don't know how that would work.
The colored versions, which there's a version where there's the regular base version of the Nintendo Switch, and then there's the one that comes with a blue and a red one that you connect, which is weird to me because I thought it would be two blue ones and two red ones, but I think they want to clarify that they're two different controllers. I don't know, it's weird.
It's all kind of just like it's like Play-Doh jammed together. I don't know, man.
Yeah. They have the HD Rumble in it, which is really cool because it definitely gave me Nintendo 64 vibes. And the last thing is the shoulder buttons, which we already talked about because we even had the discussion in the podcast. Like, how are they going to play a game without like any kind of like triggers or shoulder buttons? And that's the case on the inside where you slide it in. There's two little shoulder buttons for you.
Okay, now hold on. We got to go back, Jared, because we've got some revolution going on here. That's called high definition rumble. Baby, if you think that you can't feel that ice cube on the inside of your glass, we're going to add another another. And then we're going to put some water in the glass. Can you feel it now? It's high definition rumble, baby.
Oh
the weird thing is the contrast between the very corny messaging but how quality that thing was filmed. Like, the messaging looked like it looked beautiful. Like, it was shot very well.
Yeah,
the special effects were very well done. But the corniness and awkwardness, so weird of a mashup.
The thing is, I have no doubt that's going to be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And, like, the IR sensor that you could do, like, shadow puppets, basically.
Yeah.
Like, that shit's going to be so cool. But the way he's like, yeah, we got one ice cube, and I'm just shaking it around. Like, it was just, why are you explaining it?
Or the couch that he sat on for 5 seconds, and then it was only on stage for that.
He's like, you can lean back like this.
So the rest of the rundown real quick, and then we'll talk about the hardware as a whole. Built-in memory, 32 gigabyte, but supports macro SDXC. Just a little bit of insider information on this. I was looking at prices last night when we were talking about this. I found a SanDisk 200 gig for $70, which is pretty sweet.
So I found a 256 for 80.
Yeah,
by the way.
So
doesn't it only support up to 128?
We will have to find that out. I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I think that's the rumor. I don't know though.
That's interesting.
That'd be a bummer.
You would like to play.
That'd be a real bummer. Hopefully that's not the case.
So I gotta say, you guys know, I'm all digital on my consoles and my computer and all that. So I do not want to have these cartridges. They're just gonna be smaller game sizes, right? Like,
yeah.
It's not gonna be like Arkham Knight's fucking 50 gigabytes or Final Fantasy 15. Like,
this will be in the second topic, but Zelda's only going to be 13.4 gigs.
Oh, Jesus Christ! That's
insane.
Yeah,
dude, so Mass Effect 2 was 13 gigabytes.
Yeah, so it's. I think they're doing well at like
that game's
so
like 6 years old.
Yeah, so I think we'll be fine as far as that. Hopefully, it's not limited. That's going to be a real bummer. Retail games are going to cost $60. This isn't a surprise, but it's good to see. One of the big issues, so the Pro controller costs $70, which is not too bad. It's almost the same price as like an Xbox One controller. The big issue,
I don't know why it's not 60. I don't like that extra 10. There's no way it's that much better.
You can buy a custom Xbox One controller for the same price. The big issue here
is the Amiibo reader.
Yeah.
Adds the $10 or
The Joycons together are $80, which on itself is kind of crazy. Ugh. But then if you buy one by itself, it's $50.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, buy both of them. Just buy both of them, So
it's too much, dude. Those are expensive accessories, man.
Yeah, I agree.
That could really, really hurt the console. I know that they don't have proprietary memory. It's great that you can expand the storage with just a cheaper SD card, but dude, those controllers are out of control. And the if you get a dock for your Joy-Con controller, it's $90. Like, what the fuck, dude? There's gonna be third-party shit that's gonna be like decent quality that'll last you several years for $25 in a year.
Yep. Last two pieces of information. It will be 1080p up-res when docked, and the news that came out today is it's not going to include Miiverse or Street Pass, which is kind of a bummer for a lot of people. A lot of people who owned 3DS love Street Pass. So
Street Pass is good. Yeah.
Yeah. People are bummed about that.
Street Pass is good, but I could care less about Miiverse.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I think most of this stuff is very positive. I don't think there's a lot of negative here. The online service, yay, but then it's an app. Like there's a lot of like highs that are met with mez, but I think the problem with this portion of the presentation wasn't the information, it was the way it was displayed. I think that's how a lot of people felt about this presentation in general, is like the information wasn't bad, it's just the way we had to consume it was, and the way they presented it to us. Like you stated earlier, Jordan, I think that no region locking was huge. I think they nailed the price. It couldn't be any more expensive than that. The release date, they actually surprised people because it's a lot sooner than the people expected. The built-in memory, 32 gigs, I think that's the high end of people's expectations. I think a lot of people were kind of pessimistic with Nintendo and their internal memory. And I think the only bummer from all of the hardware is the peripheral prices. I think that's the only thing where people are like, whoa,
Yeah. I mean, are we looking at this? I guess we're including all the information that came out even after the conference. But from a conference perspective, I thought this was the best part because you had great price, great release date because it's close in early March. And then you had basically region locking also. And basically all the best parts, I thought, of the conference were right there in the beginning. And then they got into, fucking 1-2 Switch and all this other bullshit. Don't even get me started on ARMS. I guess we're going to talk about that in a sec.